Hello everyone, Fanta here, and you're watching Fantavision. Today is another episode of Games I Love, and you should too. And this episode's a little bit different than normal. I usually talk about one game, but I'm going to talk about a whole series. And that series is as I hit my mic again in the very beginning, the Animal Crossing series. I love the Animal Crossing series. I've loved this series dating back to its first one on the GameCube, and I didn't have a GameCube, so I wasn't able to play this whenever I wanted when I was a kid. I actually had to play it at one of my friends' houses, and it was like the main reason I really wanted a GameCube. Like, as much fun as Super Smash Bros. Melee was, and as much fun as, you know, the different Mario games that were on the system, I just was really drawn to this game. And I think it's just because of the simplicity of it, just how relaxing it is, and the simple gameplay behind it that is still somehow addictive as well. Now, what is Animal Crossing? Because if you've never played the game, you don't know why people like this series so much, because on the surface, it doesn't seem like a game that should have a huge following. It seems like it should be a very niche audience type thing, but these games sell really well, and there's a huge fan base behind it. And the funny thing is, I know to me this is a fun game, to a lot of people this is a fun game, but when you start trying to talk about the game to people, like, you kind of start thinking, well, why do I like this game? Like, it sounds so lame, but when you're playing it, you just kind of engross yourself in the world, because the first thing a lot of these games have you do is walk around the village and talk to all the different villagers. You get to know all the different characters in your town. And in a lot of these games, I think all of them actually, when they move into your town, you greet them, you get to know them, you get to know what they're like, they all have different personalities, and if they move away, you kind of get sad if it was like one of your favorite characters and they moved away. And before we get into the complete details of the game, let's just quickly do a brief overview like I was going to do, but instead rambled on about people moving in and out way ahead of time. So, this game is about you. This one you're the mayor, but in most of them you just arrive to this town, you are moving away from home, you're setting out on your own, you don't have a house, you don't have anything. Right away you're greeted by a raccoon named Tom Nook, and he tells you, hey, I'll get you this house. You pick your house, and then he goes, okay, well now you're in debt to me. And a lot of the other ones had a tutorial where you kind of had to go around, meet everyone in town, you had to collect different items, deliver packages, stuff like that. I don't believe you had to do that in this game. I don't believe you had to do the whole package delivery. I believe you did have to talk to everyone though, because the game does want you to get engrossed with that town so you get to know everyone. I mean, it makes sense, right? So when you become a part of this community in the other games, you basically, your goal is just pay off your house. There's no other set rules to the game except for do whatever you want. And you kind of make your own quests in that way. Like, I would go to my friend's village and they have a different fruit. Let's say my fruit in my town sells for like 100 bells, which is the currency. But in my fruit in his town, because he doesn't have my fruit, sells for 500. So his fruit also sells for 500 in my town. So if I take a couple of his fruits, bring it back to my place, start planting trees of his fruit, I can start selling those for a hell of a lot more. So later on in the game, you have these giant orchards of fruit, and you're constantly, every couple of days, taking that huge batch of fruit to the market, selling it at a huge, huge increase over your hometown's fruit, and then you can pay off your items, or your house, you can pay off, I think this house is the only thing you have to pay off, really. But you can do renovations in this game, so you can make your house look different. You can get golden shovels by doing secret things, like a golden shovel. I think there's a golden fishing rod. I'm trying to remember all the special items. There's a bunch of like secret special items that you have to do certain things to get. And then there's also the museum, which kind of adds the collectability to the game. Because I know a lot of games have, collect the jiggies, like in Banjo-Kazooie. The feathers in Assassin's Creed. This one is different because it's a lot more visual. It's not just a number of how many things you have, but when you're catching fish that you haven't brought into the museum yet and you donate them, you can go into the aquarium and you can see all the fish that you've caught. So you can see over time these fish tanks filling up. You can see all the different species you've caught. You can go to the other part of the museum where you've got the dinosaur fossils that you dig up from out of the ground. And you're so tempted to sell these things because they're worth so much money. But for me, I like to build up that museum. I like to go back and look to see my progress, to see how close I am to completing all the different dinosaurs. It's fun to go to your friends' towns. You can look at their museum, see how they're doing. You can kind of make it kind of a competition. It's funny because there are other games where they don't give you any goals, and that's a problem. They don't give you something that you really need to work for. And I mean, there is that thing you need to work for in this game, which is upgrading your house so you can design it however you want and you've got more space for your items, but you don't have to. I mean, you could just fish all the time and completely ignore the house and ignore paying it off. You don't have any set deadline for any of these things. And the cool thing about this game is that every single day that you play it, you get new items in the shop, and then when you spend enough money in the shop, that gets upgraded. In this one, your town gets upgraded, you get new buildings, you get new places. You're just constantly getting new things every day, and that's the real draw to this game, is if you want to play this in short spurts every day, you're getting just as much out of it as somebody that is sitting there fishing all day and trying to go to other people's towns to make money. You're just getting just as much. And what brings you back every day is those new items. There's new placement of the fossils. And every day there's also a secret rock that if you hit with a shovel, spits out money. So there's that added incentive to come back every single day to play this game, which is another reason why it's so addictive. Now, what I do, and a lot of my friends do as well, is I like to play this game for more than the amount of time that you really can get out of it in one usual play session. Because like I said, these items refresh by day. These stores are open in hours that are like a normal store hours. So like if you're playing this game at midnight, all the stores are closed. Everything is closed except for the museum. So there's not as much to do. So what I like to do, and I know a lot of people do this, is I like to change the time and the date on my DS. So my DS is just completely wrong because when I play this game, I play through weeks of in-game time in one sitting because I want to be able to progress everything a lot faster. I want to get the bigger house. I want to find the secret rock again. I want to get more different fossils. But then that kind of screws it up because when it gets around the holiday season, there are special events. Like Halloween, there's a special event. Christmas, I think New Year's, there's special events throughout the year, and they're all just special events that just randomly appear as well. Like there's a guy that sells paintings, there's a person that runs around with carpet, like special edition carpet and wallpaper. There's turnips. I don't believe there are turnips in this game, but there's like a whole turnip stock market. There's just so many random events. There's so many different new things every day that this game just keeps you coming back. And it's fun to play with friends too. Like you'll just be fishing together or running around each other's towns and looking at what their shop has, looking at what my shop has. And it's just so much fun to be able to do that. And the thing is, I mean, this game, when did this release? It's been since 2013 since they come out with a new real Animal Crossing game. Because Amiibo Festival is not an Animal Crossing game, and that phone game is not an Animal Crossing game. I want a full-fledged Animal Crossing game on the Switch, and I think I'm not alone on this. My roommate won't even buy a Nintendo Switch until Animal Crossing comes out for it. And that's just because it's the perfect game for at home and portable. There's a reason these are mostly on the portable systems these days. I don't think they've come out with a actual home console version of Animal Crossing since the GameCube. That's wrong. The Wii also had one. But still, the Wii came out years and years ago. So we're due for a new Animal Crossing game. And I think the Nintendo Switch is the perfect platform. And if you haven't played an Animal Crossing game, I highly recommend, if you have a 3DS, pick up this game. It's like $20. Or pick up a 3DS, because the library on the 3DS is crazy. There's great Fire Emblem games, there's great Mario games, there's great Pokemon games. Animal Crossing's on it. I mean, the system has just an incredible library. And the graphics have aged really well on a console that's, I don't even know how many years old now. I'm not going to try to say something because someone's going to correct me. But it's an old console now. I mean, it's been out for a long time. I mean, this was 2013. So I recommend you play Animal Crossing however you can. I mean, every version, in my opinion, is just fun. I mean, this is my favorite version by far, just because of how much content they have. You're the mayor. You can start public works projects. You can, create new statues and buildings. There's a bigger town environment. There's new buildings to unlock. There's like a DJ club. There's just so much to love about this game. The only thing I think this one is missing is the playable NES games, like the GameCube version. I don't remember if they have playable games in this one. I could be wrong, but I don't remember that. I thought that was so cool in the GameCube version. There's like a special lottery day, and you can get these NES consoles, and they have one game on it. Like you can get Excite Bike, Balloon Fight, stuff like that. It was just a neat addition to have a game within a game. I love when games do that. So Animal Crossing, any of them, go pick them up. Just not Amiibo Festival and the phone one. It's not a full-fledged Animal Crossing game. Make a new one, Nintendo. We're waiting. We need it. We need it. This game is just incredible. It's so much fun. So many special events. I could keep going on about it for hours, but I think I've gone through enough. It's just so much fun to just live in this really peaceful town. There's no combat. There's no struggle of any kind. And I know it sounds boring, but I promise, give this game a chance, and I think you'll like it. Thank you for watching, everyone. Leave a like down below. Comment down below what your favorite Animal Crossing game is, and if you're thinking about picking up one of the games in the series now that I've kind of talked about what the game is about. And hopefully I've piqued your interest, because this game is it's a great series to jump into at any point, honestly. Even the original DS game is a ton of fun. And as always, everyone, I need you to always, 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 always have a fantastic day. See ya. When I was making this video, it was really difficult to choose a favorite Animal Crossing game, just because I have so many fond versions of the game, like fond memories of the GameCube version, but at the same time, you really have to have friends come over to play that one, if that makes any sense, because we would what my friend and I would do when he came over to my dorm, when I used to live in a dorm, we'd bring the GameCube upstairs to the kind of like common area, games area. Nobody was ever there, but there's like a foosball table, ping pong table, old ass TV, and like a ratty old couch. And we'd sit on that couch and play on that old standard def TV Animal Crossing for the GameCube. It was so much fun. I had like 4 different memory cards, because in that game you can make different towns. Like you only have 1 town per memory card. So I had a bunch of different memory cards that we'd cycle through. And it was so much fun. It was so much fun just visiting all the different towns that we created. And we kind of ignored the characters that we created in those towns because we didn't really care about that aspect. All we wanted to do was be able to collect the fruits, all the different fruits, have more chances at getting fossils, get different fish. They were all set at different times of the year. It was so much fun. Actually, no, it was all the same time of the year because it was all on the GameCubes. No, you set the time in the game. So I think we could have them set the different types of year. Wouldn't it be weird, though? Like, because you've got one at one time and you've got the other at a different time, wouldn't that be a conflict? What did we do? Did we have the different time zones? I don't even remember. This was years ago, but it was so much fun having my buddy come over and just go to all the different towns and do all the dailies kind of thing. The daily quests, we called them. Just because, I mean, there's no quests in the game, but you create your own. So that's what one of our quests was just travel to the different towns, collect all the fruits, add to our orchard, add to our museum. It's such a fun game. Seriously, give it a shot.